So some 22 Jamaican students studying in the Ukraine made it safely home. But what has been happening regarding the continuation of or completion of their studies? Joining us now is Tarek Simpson, a final year student at VN Karazin Kharkiv National University, and Jordan Shaw, a second year student at Kharkiv National Medical University. There they are. Good morning to you both. Welcome to Smile Jamaica. How are you?
Morning. Thank you for having us.
Same question to you both, but I'll start with you, Jordan. Did you go to Ukraine because it's just a wonderful opportunity for you to do this, or was it just because of finances why you did not stay in Jamaica?
It was mainly because of finances. I initially applied to UA and I was not successful. And it was after, waiting for months on an acceptance letter, I decided that I would seek education elsewhere, especially with the tuition being what it is at the UA.
Yep. Tarek, same question to you.
It's basically the same thing. So the fees were just too high, and applied just the same and wasn't able to afford it. So the opportunity came up for Ukraine, and I jumped at that.
Yep. Tarek, you said you couldn't afford it. Jordan, you said you weren't accepted?
Yes.
Why? You didn't meet the qualifications? Why?
I would think that I met all the qualifications. I submitted all the required documents. But
okay, all right.
Yeah. So Tarek, you had 2 months to go to complete the med program. It's been 2 months, I think, since you've been home. What's happening with you?
Still in limbo, trying to figure out how to move forward. Not applying, but trying to find universities, trying to, we're working with the diaspora members in the US mainly, and they have been trying to help us to get us linked to different universities. They're, working very hard. And we ourselves, as a group, we have been trying to figure out schools in Poland, European schools, for example, which would be able to accept us.
Mm-hmm. And for you, Jordan, I mean, you had 4 years, which is a much longer period, which means you still have the issue of the school fees. I mean, I'm seeing here the $28,000 per year for med school at UWI pays for the full 6 years in the Ukraine.
Yes, it does.
So has anyone contacted you, or have you been in touch with the Ministry of Education or the Tertiary Education Institute? What's happening with you?
We have been in contact with the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. However, there hasn't been much movement as related to us being accepted into different universities as yet.
Yeah.
However, we are doing our own research. We're trying to get information on the different universities that are willing to accept us based on what it is that is happening. A lot of them aren't so willing to accept us without transcripts, but we are still remaining steadfast in our search.
Yep. Tarek, what about continuation? Where you are at now, is it the curriculum is the same at the University of the West Indies, say? Can you just go in and say, well, I have 2 months and this is what I've done so far, so I want to finish my 2 months? As far as you know, that can work?
As far as I know, that is not the case, because UA, in a statement that they released, said that they needed to get a program outline in order for them to make considerations for the entire group. It's not just for myself, but for the entire group. So they would need to then match what we're doing in Ukraine over the 6 years to what they do here in Jamaica for the 5 years.
But that doesn't necessarily mean it can't happen. You said as far as you know, it can't work. But if they just want to see where you are, that doesn't suggest that you can't just finish the 2 months here, can you?
No, it does. It still doesn't suggest that we can finish the 2 months here, because as Jordan said before, we are having issues regarding transcripts. So even if you did match the curricula together and see that, we did similar things, we were able to cover all of that, which is a part of the curriculum for UWI, you still need to see where you were, how you were performing, basically.
So Jordan, I have to ask, because you're not the first students that would have studied in the Ukraine, correct?
Yes, you're correct.
So there are other medical students that would have completed the course. When they were done, where were they accredited to work?
A lot of them are actually working in Jamaica. You probably are familiar with Dr. Watson. He works at the Ministry of Education, Agriculture, sorry.
Right.
And he studied in Ukraine. Dr. Stanberg from the UE also studied in Ukraine. So there are quite a lot of persons who have graduated from universities in Ukraine and are currently working here in Jamaica and contributing to the country's development.
Right. So
So
that
we
that leads me to the bigger question then, as to if we've already established a precedent that we accept the qualifications from the Ukraine. I'm not sure why now we're kind of wondering if the study is okay. Because if we accept that if you've completed it, you can work, then the curriculum should be okay.
should be, but we're trying to figure it out like everybody else.
Do you both want to go to UE here, or you want to go back abroad? Not necessarily Ukraine, but do you both want to stay here and finish off your studies? Tarek?
Well,
Tarek first?
okay.
Okay, there's no problem with staying here and finishing our program, because once we complete the program here at UWI, then we matriculate directly into our internship, compared to completing in Ukraine, for example. We would then have to come back and do our observership or orientation, and then we would start our internship. Plus, we would need to write a qualifying exam, which is CAMC.
Yeah, you said it wouldn't be a problem, but do you want to stay here?
I don't have a problem. Jamaica is my country.
Yeah.
I love
Jordan,
Jamaica.
do you want to stay here?
I've always been open to staying at home. It was my initial decision to stay here and study. However, I am open to the possibility of going abroad, because the experience is always good for students, especially when we're this young. To be able to travel, it's a very good experience.
Okay.
Yeah, I just have one final question, Tarek. Is there a time frame that it's required that you complete it? I mean, like if 2 years passed and you haven't done it, does that mean you have to go back and redo years again? Will you lose years if you don't complete them now?
Honestly, I'm not aware of that being an issue.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not aware of that being an issue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Final question from me, and I don't want you to go through what you went through, but have you fully recovered? I don't know how you recover from bomb drop beside you, but have you guys fully recovered and comfortable now and all right? Tarek?
I would say I'm so.
All right, let me go with Jordan first this time. Jordan?
Okay, I would say I'm still recovering. It's a non-stop process of trying to actively tell yourself that you're safe, whatever happened, and you're just trying to move on from whatever it is going through.
Tarek?
Wow.
I'm still in recovery just the same. I'm actually going to counseling as well to, help with this process to ensure that later down the line I don't develop PTSD as a result of the incident.
By the way, just an add-on, do you know that if all the Jamaicans have left Ukraine now, or do we still have Jamaicans there?
Yes, they've all left.
Okay, fantastic. Great to see you guys. Thank God you're home with us. And I pray that academically things will not only work out, but work out soon. Stay safe. God bless you both. All right?
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Tarek Simpson, a final year student at the VN at Kharkiv National University, and Jordan Shaw, a second year student at the Kharkiv National Medical University. Wow.
Yep.
It's time for another performance, I think. Yeah.
Yep.
Barbara Bradford is here on sax, and she's going to do an Alton Ellis medley.